This podcast is brought to you by ASUS ProArt Displays, expertly crafted for photographers, vloggers, and cinematographers alike. ProArt Monitors deliver industry-leading hardware, unparalleled color accuracy, diverse connectivity choices, and the renowned stability of ASUS.
Everyone has to have a plan B. So I said, what is the plan B? Nothing. I'll close my YouTube channel. I'll go back to teaching. My average teaching hours per day used to be around 8 to 10 hours. First real purpose of money is to satisfy your needs. Roti, kapda, makan, they don't come for free. 2020, when I became a full-time content creator and when Corona happened, that is where my graph went like whoop.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Teacher-Turned-YouTube, a podcast series by Pixel Viilage, and I'm your host, Radha Krishnan. Well, creating wealth, which is making money, is definitely an art. Keeping it and growing it is even more difficult an art to master. In today's podcast, we are going to meet one such individual who has mastered the art of creating, keeping, and growing wealth. She has not only mastered that art, but she also imparts that knowledge freely to all that discerning multi-million subscribers of her YouTube channel, CA Rachana Ranade. She's the winner of YouTube Next Up in 2019. She was chosen by YouTube for their Creating India campaign in 2022. She also received the Mata Sanman, a Government of India Youth Icon Award for the year 2023. She was the face of Women's Day campaign run by Google in 2022. She was a part of Forbes India's top 100 digital stars of 2022. Well, the accolades continues. And now, today she is at Teacher-Turned-YouTube, talking to us on the importance of being financially literate. So, without wasting any more time, let's dive right into that conversation. Rachana Ranade.
Yes.
Welcome to Teacher-Turned-YouTube.
Thank you for having me here. The weather is beautiful, the setup is beautiful, and you are beautiful too.
I'm handsome. Can't be beautiful. Beautiful?
Yeah.
No. Anyway, Radha, you know what? It used to happen with me. Well, I've been a commercial photographer, and in the advertising agency, in those days, you had to go with a portfolio bag to present your work.
Yeah.
And my contact, who's a creative director or art director or servicing guy, will set up a meeting for me. And they'll say, "Hey, Radha aa raha hai, 12:30 baje meeting hai." And when I walk in, I get full quorum because Radha is coming. And in walks a middle-aged, someone with bald, gray-haired guy, and suddenly everyone becomes busy. Oh, I got a meeting now. I forgot about it. Radha, drop your work here and I'll come and see you later. Yeah, so that's what happens. Anyway.
I can, sorry to cut you in between, but for me it used to happen that I cleared CA at the age of 22.
Okay.
And I started teaching right after that. So I used to carry my bag. I'm anyway short. And I used to walk in the classroom and I have gotten these questions where the students ask me, "Kaun teacher hai?" I was like, okay, I am the one who's going to teach you. And unfortunately, they have to do it.
Exactly. No.
Yes.
Thank you very much that you're in teaching. Because I can see millions and millions of people are now being benefited by that, that profession that you chose. And, we have, I don't know when you read it while entering our premises, we said, Vidya Dhanam Sarvathanat Pradhanam. It's something which I believe in. So I don't get an opportunity to learn anytime. So today, that's my prime I can say it's almost a selfish reason why I got you here, because we had photographers, we had creators, YouTubers. I know that you're also definitely one of the most successful YouTubers in the country, but the prime reason why you are here is I want some free advice. I cannot afford you otherwise. So congratulations on that amazing, achievements. And 4 years, 5 years?
Yeah,
and
4 years roughly.
You are like, you're the channel to go to. All brands are waiting for your time to talk about their products and reach it to the world. And you've done it with a lot of dignity. And we're all called influencers. You never tried to influence anybody or never tried to. No. So thank you very much for that. And but did you ever imagine that if you were to continue as a teacher, you would still be teaching?
Yeah.
But this one is almost like it kind of blew up.
True.
Right? Did you ever imagine when you started in 2019?
Never. Never had I imagined that it'll go to this level. In the initial days, many people used to say, like we said right now, 4 years and my channel, English channel, is almost at a 4.5, 4.6 million.
But you're making it sound so 4.6 million.
No. But I'll tell you, I always say this to my audiences that, yes, agreed that in a span of 4 years, reaching this is good enough, I agree. But what people don't know is what before 2019 happened, right? Yeah. So from 2009 to 2019, I was a full-time teacher. So I have taught CA intermediate students, I've taught CA final students, I've taught MBA finance students, I've taught PGDM finance students,
wow.
I've taken corporate trainings, I've been a SEBI resource person. Wow. I used to take up post-qualification courses on forensic audit.
Wow.
So I have done it for 10 long years.
Wow.
And my average teaching hours per day used to be around 8 to 10 hours.
Fantastic.
And full-time standing and teaching. I'm that sort of a teacher because I feel that if I'm sitting and I'm teaching, if my energy is at 50%, then the student is going to sleep in 5 minutes.
Absolutely.
So I always be 150% energy, and then maybe I can expect the student to at least be awake all the time. So that has what gone into before I started my YouTube channel. So I knew as a teacher, where does the student find it difficult to understand what concept? So when I started making YouTube videos, I used to go okay, today I'm going to talk about equity and you know what, and I will explain a small concept and I'll go, I'm sure you didn't get this part, didn't you? And the comment section used to be loaded how did you understand that I did not get it? I said, well, that's 10 years of teaching experience because the tough part on YouTube is that you don't get to see the student's face.
Yeah.
Because after looking at the face, I could understand that ye nahi samajh mein aaya. But on YouTube, it's just you and you who is speaking.
Yeah.
So I just brought that experience that I had gained in those 10 years onto the platform. And I was not sure whether it will really click or not. So in 2019, I just started it as a side hustle.
Okay.
So 2019, as I mentioned, the 7 tasks that I mentioned right now, MBA teaching and So I used to do everything of that. And if time permits, I used to do YouTube.
Okay.
So 2019 was pretty crazy. I was doing so much stuff. But then there was a moment that actually changed my perspective about YouTube. Can I go on immediately?
Absolutely. This is your show. Please,
Sure.
We are here to listen to you.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Then I'll be able to explain that, why this happened and all. So I started, as I mentioned, in 2019 and somewhere around July or August, I think now 4 years completed, this month only, where I got to know about YouTube Next Up.
Okay.
So that is a competition by YouTube where they select upcoming YouTubers. And the rule is that you have to have minimum 10,000 subscribers, maximum 1 lakh subscribers. And at that time, I was around 70,000 mark.
Okay.
I applied for that and all over India, they select just 12 channels.
Okay.
And I had no hopes of my channel being selected, but with God's grace, my channel got selected.
Wow.
And after that...
Which is CA Rachna.
Yeah, the CA Rachana Ranade channel. And then we were invited for a boot camp in Delhi. And that was where we were taught about how to do script writing, how is the lighting. I learned about the 3-point setup. Is that, am I right? That is what we learned.
That's for lighting.
Exactly. Then we learned what is the green screen, how does that work. And I said, okay, now, I thought I was here for CA, finance related. Now I'm learning filmmaking. Is that so? But in those 7 days, a lot of YouTube content creators came and told about what this whole game is. So we had big content creators like Gaurav Taneja, Flying Beast. We had Bhuvan Bam, who had come over to give some sessions. And the CA inside me started calculating, that, okay, Gaurav Taneja is a pilot. And he might be earning X amount as a pilot. I immediately searched how much a pilot earns. So if he's earning that much from YouTube and he's from flying, and if he's ready to give up a full-time career, okay, that is the amount of money that he can make on YouTube. Then why am I not giving it a try?
You are currently standing up for 10 hours.
Exactly. So that was the point that clicked, and I said, okay, let me give it a shot. If not, everyone has to have a plan B. So I said, what is the plan B? Nothing. I'll close my YouTube channel. I'll go back to teaching. I'll again start teaching in those 7 colleges and whatnot, right? So when I came back home to Pune, I told my husband, next year I'm going to start full-time YouTubing. Are you okay with that? He said, okay. He's also a chartered accountant.
Okay.
He was working with a German MNC at that time. He said, my salary is enough to feed our entire family. Don't worry on that.
All right.
So I took that leap of faith, and that was the true starting, I can say, which took the channel to the next level.
And how?
Yeah.
Fantastic. So what does a typical day of Rachana Ranade looks like in your YouTube avatar?
So I am an early riser. I don't know whether getting up at 6 qualifies for an early riser or not.
I think so, definitely.
I know successful people say 5 a.m. and 4 a.m. and whatnot, but I like, okay, 6 a.m. enough.
I heard Zuckerberg, 7 o'clock.
Oh, really?
There are a few late risers also. Because I don't know what they do. I think they wake up, lie down and think, I think. I mean, I don't think they can sleep.
True.
If you're a creative person, if you have something to go out and do, they can't sleep.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You may be lying down and still thinking about something. That's also working.
True. So generally I get up at 6. I meditate.
Okay.
I do a little bit of exercise. I'm not a super exercise freak person. Somewhere around half an hour to 45 minutes.
That's a lot of time.
But not heavy gymming and all that.
No,
basic,
it's just
basic
to
stuff.
make your body flexible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then my son wakes up and I take his studies without fail, because I feel that if I'm a teacher to the world and if I can't be teacher to my son, then it doesn't give justice to that relationship.
How old is he?
He's 10 years old.
10 years. So he's going to his 5th standard.
Yeah. So I take his studies, then we play sometimes in the morning, but very less times now.
What do you play?
Cricket. I love playing cricket.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So
this is after the 45 minutes of exercise, you go out and play cricket?
No, in our home.
In your home.
So thankfully till date nothing has really broken. We have a smiley ball through which we play.
Sure, that's enough.
Yeah. Then the office starts 10 to 6. I am in my studio in my office. The office is only about content creation. So many people feel that I'm a CA, so I should be doing CA related stuff, filing returns, GST, this, that. I said, no, I don't do anything of that. It's purely a content creator's office. I have a team of almost 15 people now.
Okay.
So that's where my whole day from 10 to 6 goes.
Wonderful.
And we are a Sarkari kind of office. If you come to my office at 6:15, it'll be closed.
Okay.
So I am a person who believes in work-life balance. I say you better go home at 6:50. You just move out from here, enjoy your life, enjoy with your family members, play some sport, whatever you want to do.
Absolutely. This is like a dream story that you're narrating. You wake up at 6 o'clock, you meditate, exercise, play, learn, go to work, come back, get together. Amazing.
And in the evening, if time permits, I sometimes sing or play guitar, or I'm learning ukulele.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, trying to learn.
Oh,
so
fantastic.
just evening is fun generally, unless and until I have some work. So out of 7 days...
You're a trained singer also?
Yes.
Sangeet Visarad?
Yes, I am.
Wow. Okay.
So out of 7 days at least, I make it a point that 3 days at least I keep for myself. Sunday, I keep it for myself, for sure. I mean, anyone who says on a Sunday, I say, please excuse me. Sunday, I want for myself. So out of 6 days, balance 3 days, I keep it for myself.
So you stay at home and relax, or you go out with family?
Sometimes I go out for a cup of coffee with me and my husband. We both are coffee lovers.
Okay.
So once a week at least we would go out for a cup of coffee.
Okay.
Sometimes me, my son, my husband, we go out. Sometimes we stay with our in-laws. So we would play cards sometimes.
Wow.
So it's fun. Sometimes just do nothing
I
and
can
binge
imagine.
watch
I can
television.
imagine. I mean, there's the time to binge watch. Raining. Yeah.
Exactly. Because I feel that from 2009 to 2019, I've slogged enough. I mean, my average working hours used to be 14 hours a day, average. And sometimes even Sundays used to be the same. So I think that 10 years of full-fledged hardcore work, I think now allows me to take at least Sundays off without fail. So I just now to
We will
balance
hold on to
out.
that thought. We'll talk
Sure,
about it
sure.
later because there are lots of our viewers are, still struggling, still continuing to work, and they are unable to, get that break. They are unable to figure out how to do it, or probably they don't even know such thing exists.
Exactly.
To many, it's just work. If I don't work,
True.
it's sin.
Yeah.
So or some people are pushed to doing work because of certain baggages that they have, which is financially more to do with finance than anything else.
True.
So we'll come to that later. So wonderful. This conversation is getting interesting.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is, okay. So let me start with a big confession that I'm a finance illiterate. I have read in enough number of places that you cannot keep saying that to yourself. Then your subconscious mind will listen and you will actually become that. And I think I've said it enough number of times and I've become that. So now I've kind of trying to come out of that shell and trying to become a little more wiser in terms of money. So your conversation is just in time, for us. So we will, and this channel, we're a photography, filmmaking, tech tutorial, review kind of a channel. So most of our viewers are from that genre. I'm sure since you are here, I'm sure there are lots of other viewers also are going to come in and watch this podcast. But I want this conversation to be helpful to the creator also.
Got it.
There are some fundamental questions or doubts which are related to finance. We will answer that.
Sure.
And we'll, of course, would like to know about life of a creator.
Sure.
What are your responsibilities as an influencer? All that. Yeah. So we'll get into it in an order. Okay. Because I think otherwise we will be all over the place because it's a very, very vast subject. True. So my question is, why Ma Lakshmi is so evasive in the sense everybody wants her.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
But she doesn't really come in and give you that freedom to enjoy the wealth so easily. You think it's true?
That's a tough question to answer. She's not going to be there for everyone, is what I feel. I don't want to go into the reasons of karma and all that. That could also be one possibility.
That's my next question. Because in Indian belief systems, you like it or not, you are brought up with this idea of karma, and majority is kind of believes that you have to do your duty, not exactly have too much expectation on the reward.
Okay.
I'm definitely been brought up, and I'm a staunch believer. Whether it is help me or not help me is a debatable question, but this is how I think the psyche of the country is. Though interestingly, India is one of the highest saving countries at the same time.
It is.
But I still see majority people struggling to save. So there's a story of people pursuing Saraswati, the goddess of education, knowledge, wisdom, to please Ma Lakshmi. Now, do you think you need to be intelligent to become rich, or
I don't
to
think so.
become?
I don't think so.
Okay.
The place where I used to stay earlier, and when I used to be a full-time teacher at a college, Whenever I used to drive down to the college, there was a samosa wala who was right at the corner selling samosas at a super fast pace, right? So like he used to be like, ye le lo, ye le lo, ye le lo. And I always used to face that I'm screaming out for 10 hours. And I'm sure that guy makes more money as compared to me, right?
True.
So I don't believe that it has to be only intelligence. Okay, it could be intelligence for few. It could be hard work for few. For 1%, it could be luck, as well, is what I truly believe. Okay, I believe that it is all about 99% hard work and 1% luck. I have been doing a lot of hard work since I was a student. I mean, even before being a teacher in 2009, I cracked my CA exam in the first attempt, all 3 levels.
Yeah.
So I can definitely tell you that
that's superhuman.
Yeah.
I mean,
but I can tell you the hard work. So again, I believe I'm not very intelligent, I mean that I am an above average girl. But this is where my intelligence level will stand, and this is where my hard work will stand. So I knew that I had no option but to do hard work. So I've been doing hard work first for studying, then for teaching. And combined together, those will be like 15 years of my life. But I was not earning that much in those 15 years.
Proportionate to your hard work.
Absolutely not. But then 2020, when I became a full-time content creator and when Corona happened, that is where my graph went like, whoop.
While you are actually not working. Yes.
Exactly. No, but I was working from home is what I could say.
Different from
in
your
a different
so-called
style.
physical labor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I used to take live stream, but from home. I used to sit in front of the camera. I used to take live streams. But so this is where the 1% luck comes into play is what I feel. Being at the right place at the right time is what people say, right?
That was my question.
Right.
To define what is luck. You know.
This is what is meant by luck, being at the right place at the right time, because I'm sure there might be so many amazing teachers as compared to me 50 years ago, 60 years ago. They didn't have YouTube as a platform to showcase their talent as a teacher.
And probably even now existing, but they are not using YouTube to reach out to people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I feel that yes, for me, it was that above average. So it's a mixture, right? It's an above average intelligence that I feel I have. It is the 110% hard work that I put in, and that 1%. So that is not equating to 100. I know that, but that 1% luck as well, which I feel one must have, so that you reach to wherever you want to, and then Ma Lakshmi, will bless.
Absolutely. So she will follow that hard work. Probably when you mentioned hard work, it is not just. So there are lots of people who do hard work with like headless. They work like headless chicken. They just run around, do whatever that comes in. But I think hard work with discipline is probably what does. So even if somebody is complaining that I do hard work, why am I not getting the results? Probably you should look into it and say that discipline is and that objective probably is what is missing in there.
I feel it should be hard work, discipline, and smart work.
Smart work, yes.
Okay. For example, for me also becoming a content creator in the field of finance is nowhere connected to my CA studies, to be honest.
Yeah.
In my entire curriculum of CA, the 5 years, I had one chapter about stock market. It is not also one subject, it's one chapter in 5 years, and I'm saying.
Okay.
So I didn't have the necessary skill to teach about stock market.
Okay.
After becoming a chartered accountant, I went to a lot of libraries. I saw a lot of television. Because at that time I didn't have YouTube. I mean, we didn't have an exposure to YouTube, right? I opened an account with a broker. I requested him that please allow me to sit in your office.
2019.
2009. 2009. After becoming so while I was finishing my last year of chartered accountancy, 2008, I think, 2008, not
Okay.
9. So while I was in my last year of chartered accountancy, I said that, I need to do a little bit more to get, practical knowledge as well. So I used to sit at the broker's place and just observe what others are doing. How are they placing these orders? What's happening? Because we didn't have any academy to learn stock market.
Correct.
So it was not only hard work, it was not only intelligent, but I think I understood that, okay, this skill set is missing in me. I need to acquire that skill set if I have to differentiate myself from all others. And I think that I am a chartered accountant, which if I compare with other CAs, I think I have that edge over others as far as this area is concerned. So even the samosa wala example, right? Hard work, 100% yes, but he chose the locality where there is a school right in front of his thela. There is a college right across. So again, that's smart. He acquired the skill that, okay, how to analyze where should I put up the thela. So I think it's a mixture that pleases Mahalakshmi.
So probably then I'll say that he was actually intelligent too.
True.
Know, so you need to be intelligent
It is not intelligence only about studies. It is intelligence in whatever you do. That is important.
Understanding where to put it and what time to start and what's the flavor people like and what's the speed in which I need to serve and how many...
Place a spicy samosa on the plate, have a cold coffee stall right next. So that people will also have coffee now.
To douse the fire. Wonderful. Now, this is a little fundamental kind of a question. What's the real purpose of money? Because, we all know we need money. Many people amass a lot of money. Some people don't have money.
True.
But they all know that they need money.
Yeah.
But what's the real purpose of money?
First real purpose of money is to satisfy your needs. Roti, kapda, makan, they don't come for free. These are, so earlier we used to say roti, kapda, makan are their basic necessities. I say roti, kapda, makan and internet as the fourth necessity now, right? None of these come for free. And you need them for survival. Okay. So I feel that just to live a life where the basic necessities are ticked off, that is why you need money. That is the first phase in your life of money. Now, I have been blessed because as a child, my parents had their own house. I never had to think about 2 meals while I was a student. My parents were taking care of that. So the roti part was also sorted. Kapda part was sorted. At that time, we didn't have internet, so that was not a question. So for me, a platform was readily available. Now for me, money didn't mean ticking off the necessities. For me, money was luxury maybe. How can I go to the next level where maybe I do something which I was not able to do with the money I had or with whatever money my parents had maybe. So for example, until I got married, so I became a chartered accountant, I got married. Until then, I had never been out of India. So for me, that was always a dream. Wow, how the world looks beyond India. But till that point in time, I didn't have enough money to travel abroad. US was just what I'd seen in books.
In a map.
And in a map on pictures. So I wanted to experience that. And at that time, for me, money was experience. So an experience that money can buy for me, that maybe a book cannot buy for me. So I tried to earn more and more so that I can travel, I can get more and more experiences. Then, unfortunately, finally for a human being, the desire never stops, right? So I visited US, agreed, the first time I visited. But then I was like, how does a business class look?
Oh, yeah.
Then you start working towards that, right? Last year, I traveled to the US again, but in a business class with my own money. So that's how a man or a woman is. Every time you go to a step, you always feel, what does the next step look like? So it's about necessities, luxuries, and luxuries, and luxuries. The problem is that now where to stop is no one knows. But if you just go on running madly to get each and every experience, then I'm sure it's a debit and a credit. It has to equate. If I'm gaining more and more, just if I'm running for money so that I can get next level experience, maybe at the same time I'm either deteriorating my health or my mental peace. something is going wrong. It will not balance equally.
I mean, I've seen that with people. Is that how the habit of money is like that? I mean, you amass more and you get deeper into something or the other?
It does happen is what I believe. So many people say, Rachana, for you now that you have this much of money, for you talking about money is not important, la 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 la, it's very easy for you. I still say, you can imagine that there's a ladder. I'm standing somewhere here. I know a lot of content creators who are way richer than me. Now, being in finance, they'll be like, I invested in this startup, I invested in that startup, my money was 100x and 200x. But then I think that, what am I going to do with that 100x money? Now I have started asking that question to myself. At the age of 37 at least, I think I've got a little bit of wisdom. Because, see, I mean, I am not a party person. I don't drink. What maximum I'm going to go is go and eat at Vaishali or Wadeshwar and eat dosa and filter coffee. How much is that going to cost? I got a business class experience. I don't crave for that anymore now. If I get it, okay, good, but I will not crave for that now. So now I've understood that, okay, there is no limit for the next thing. So at some point, I started to say no. Okay.
No to more money.
No to more and more opportunities, which will drive me to more opportunities, to more money, and the cycle continues.
And you know what the pitfalls are waiting.
Yes. Yes. Because you have to understand, for example, I know that my health is not great. If I work crazily, something starts happening on my skin. I start feeling a bit tired, and I feel that I don't want to talk to anyone. I want to stay in my room. I want mental peace, this, that. So when I started realizing, oh, this is what is happening at the cost of money, I said, I don't want money.
You don't want.
I want.
You would rather forgo money than your peace and health.
Yes. So that is how I've tried to get that balance now.
Fantastic. So, I think it's a big takeaway from this conversation. Because you can, if you wish, you can have more. I know I have not reached there, so I cannot talk for myself. But I know many people who are constantly, looking for that one deal more that he can crack or she can crack and get a little more money in.
I mean, I get so many calls. I mean, many people have actually said this to me. Rachna, you're please raise your ambition level. Is what people have actually told me over a phone call. I said, what do I do with that? I'll just, instead of working for, now that I've restricted my work hours to 8 to 10 hours, I'll again go into that maddening phase of 14 hours, 16 hours. I'm going to give out on my family time. I'm going to give out on my health. I don't want that. I'm okay with whatever ambition level I have. I'm happy with that. That sounds questionable to the other person. I know. I said, I know what I'm saying.
No, it's one of the wisest advice that you can give anyone. Because world in general will be a much better place to live if everybody or a majority start thinking like that. Because 1% of the whole population is holding more than, I don't know how many percentage of world wealth. They don't have to do it.
True.
I mean, continents are going into poverty. I mean, people dying, and 1% of the whole population, world's population, is holding so much wealth. So that's another discussion altogether. But let's coming back to this. Because, you need a lot of spiritual development to kind of think like that or come to a decision like that. Are you spiritual? Are you religious, spiritual?
Not to a very great extent, to be honest. I pray to God once a day. I recently learnt meditation, not even been more than, properly. I went to a program, I learned how to meditate. Otherwise, I have never been a very spiritual person or, a person who knows how to meditate, this, that. But I think I'm very lucky to have a good life partner. And he is, we keep on talking a lot about, how to be content, how to have that content in life. Because we both are pretty similar in that thought process. And I think it is his dad, who have brought in that angle for me, that how much money is enough money is what you have to really think about and then start working towards that.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Do you said business class travel. One question related, do you at any point felt the guilt in spending more. For example, I'll tell you, I was a reasonably successful commercial photographer, and I had little more than what I need in terms of money. I used to have a little more than, which I've burned here, but more than what I need. So one day I wanted to buy a particular watch. I carried the money, went to the watch store, and I picked up the watch, and the guilt kicks in and say, I can afford it.
Yeah.
But two questions. Do you want to really spend it?
Yeah.
Aren't you spending your son's money? Do you really deserve it? All these questions, because of my upbringing, probably. So I have been there, and I did not buy that watch. I went and settled for a watch which is half the cost, probably 30% of the cost of that watch. And I, now that one, the watch which I wanted to buy is way beyond my reach because it's really shot up in price. But my question is, do you ever feel, have you ever felt guilty spending money?
So I'll tell you why I have not felt guilty while spending money. Okay. I always believe that when it is about smaller ticket size purchases, in some hundreds or some few thousands, maybe 2,000-3,000 rupees, thankfully with whatever level of financial freedom I've attained, I never think about that. Okay, but if I were to go for a bigger spend, the business class ticket, for example, which was like 5 or I think 8 times costlier than the economy class.
I don't even want to know because it's so expensive that it can be somebody's annual salary.
Absolutely, 100%. But then, being a finance person, my husband is also a chartered accountant, I'm a chartered accountant. So when we thought that we should experience that, we planned our expenses for almost a year.
Wow.
So if you have a goal that I want to travel business class, that was my goal. To attain that goal, I manage my finances for a year. I spend wisely throughout the year. I sacrifice something so that I can achieve my goal. And once you have done that exercise, you get that feeling that I worked hard to achieve my goal.
That's your reward for.
That's a reward for. So I had a lot of temporary sacrifices so that I could enjoy that goal. And then if I'm doing that in a disciplined way, I would never feel guilty about spending that much money. So that is how, if you go about it, then you don't feel guilty, number one. Number two, whenever we do a big ticket spend, like buying a car, for example, there are 2 types of analysis that we do. And we do that meticulously, right? One is a quantitative analysis. Quantitative analysis
now you're talking French to me. I have
No, I'm a teacher. I'm going to make you understand.
Sure, please. I am here. Your student is ready.
Right. So quantitative analysis basically tells you whether it is okay for your pocket or not. Does your pocket allow to spend that much or not? So in finance, there are certain rules that you can check for. That this is my monthly earning. Is the EMI more than 10% of my monthly earning or not? Okay. So I've made a separate video on my channel on buying a car, which talks about the math.
Okay.
Subscribe to my channel, CA Rachana Ranade, and hit the bell icon. I got that chance right away.
You must.
Very organically.
Please do.
Right. So in that, I've explained the quantitative factor, basically the math that you should do, and it is very easy. It's just that people make it sound very difficult. I've given a very basic level Excel sheet. You just fill in basic numbers and automatically it will calculate for you, right? So first thing is it affordable? And in that, I've also given a calculation that if your yearly income is this much, what is the amount of car that you should be looking at? So
what should be the value of the purchase?
Car. Yeah. So for example, if your yearly income is 12 lakh and you say I want a Mercedes S-Class, your decision is terribly bad in that case, right? So for a 12 lakh yearly income, how much could be the amount of car that you should be looking at is what is the quantitative. The second one is qualitative. Okay. Tick. Everything suits my pocket. What is qualitative? Do I need it?
Do you need it?
So when we took this decision of buying a 7-seater car recently, we checked Mercedes, we checked this, and we said, oh my God, these are like 5 times than the car that we bought. 5 times expensive than the car we bought. Thankfully, we could have afforded that expensive as well. But we both, me and my husband, we are not freaks about Mercedes ka logo chahiye bhai, Audi chahiye. We are not that. If it is comfortable, if it has some good features, we are happy with that. Why a 7-seater car? We had thought through that and we felt that, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We reasoned it out why we need a 7-seater car. So if you're taking a big ticket decision with sitting back, discussing, and then you go ahead for that purchase, you will never feel guilty about that. Is what we have understood over the period of years. But if I just feel that, मेरे को लगता है मेरे को कार चाहिए, is there enough money in my bank balance? Yes. I go to the showroom, I pay the check or whatever, I Google Pay, whatever, I get the car, and then maybe 2 months down the line, I feel, चाहिए था क्या?
Yeah, exactly.
So because
the moment you get it, that excitement.
We call that as a law of diminishing marginal utility. First ride is at this level of excitement. Second ride, third ride, fourth ride, fifth ride.
After which it becomes a responsibility.
Exactly.
It's oh my God, maintenance bills.
Exactly.
Monthly service, accident, insurance. Wow.
So
Well,
that is
why
that
am I
is the
saying
reason.
this? I've done this. Okay, so it's got a lot of, it's a little longer story, but these are things that I now these days discourage anyone to do. A lot of people discouraged me because I like automobiles. I like them to an extent that I really, when I drive, I actually become a part of the whole vehicle, and I enjoy the whole feeling, right from touch feelings and sound, the whole comfort level, everything barring the notorious Indian roads. But I enjoy everything about the car. So, like you also said, so I rationalized it like this. I reasoned it like this, saying that I don't drink, smoke, and do any other kind of activities which can drain my money. I said, I was trying to probably convince myself why I should spend that extra money, probably the money that I don't have, to spend on something which is exotic. So I know, I've been there. So when you say it, I understand.
Yeah. But just like I said, but if you really love it, you should buy it. So if you have done the math behind it, if it suits your pocket, and so sometimes, okay, money-wise ticked off, sometimes you don't get the logical reason, do I need it? But sometimes I always feel that हम जीते एक बार, I'm a Bollywood freak, right?
Yeah, okay, please.
हम जीते एक बार है, मरते एक बार है. The कुछ होता है dialogue, right? So if अगर आप जीते एक बार है, मरते एक बार है, तो why not do certain things which give you absolute pleasure?
So that reminds me, that's exactly the excuse of many people not to save.
He's also laughing from behind the camera.
And so there are lots of people are agreeing to it in this small, so that's a big number within the studio, which I'm sure all the listeners, there will be a lot of people grinning away or say, shit.
That's me.
That's me. Yeah. So can you?
So for that, I have a very base level magical formula.
Okay.
What we are taught in school is income minus expense is equal to saving.
Okay.
Correct? You earn, you spend, and whatever is left is what you save. But if I do it the reverse way, for me it is income minus saving
is what you spend.
Is what I spend.
It's so simple.
It's so simple, right? So I have set a target that, okay, I know this is going to be my income, roughly. Because if you're a salaried person, you exactly know the number. But if you're a professional, your income can fluctuate a little bit, right? So I at least know on an average, itna to milega yaar. Uska X percentage. If you ask me, ideally it should be around 30 to 40%.
Okay, so
saving.
Please do the maths for us. Suppose if I have 100 rupees as my salary.
Yes.
Please tell me in what proportions I should spend and save.
So the bare minimum, if you're earning 100 rupees, bare minimum saving should be 20 rupees. Okay. So I'll tell you, it is called as the 50-30-20 rule. Okay. But 20 rupees is the bare minimum saving. So out of 100, first 20 should be cut out. Now you're left with 80 rupees.
Meaning taken out and saved.
Yes, I'll tell about how can that be done. Okay,
Wonderful.
so first, as of now, you can just say 20 rupees removed.
So you have 80.
And now I have 80 left with me. Out of 80, ideally for a lot of people, 50 rupees will go towards necessities. Roti, kapda, makan, internet. 50 rupees to lagega.
So that will include my home EMI or
Everything.
rent or...
See, because makan you can either buy out if you're like very rich, then you need not follow all these rules and all that. But otherwise, you're going to pay for the EMIs, you're going to pay for the down payment, or if you have bought a car, again, you'll have some EMIs. If you're not buying a house, you'll be taking it on rent. So, makan ke andar sab kuch aa jayega. It can cover your rental expense or your EMIs, whatever is the case. Okay. So, that will be a part of the 50 rupees.
Okay. Then you're left with 30.
You are left with 30, and 30 should be for luxuries. And I say that, yes. Why?
The so-called guilt-free
Exactly.
spending.
I don't want people that when they turn 70 or 80, and thankfully if they're alive at that point in time, and they say, "Aaj mere paas bahut paisa hai, lekin karu kya?" Okay, what are they going to do with that?
Yeah.
With that money, their children or their grandchildren are going to, they are going to spend that money.
Yeah.
So then it would happen that person slogged through his entire life.
Correct.
And baad mein on his deathbed, he says, "I wish I could have gone there. I wish I would have bought that."
Yeah, there is
Why?
an expression called dying rich. There are two ways of interpreting that. You can have all the money and die and not use it.
Exactly.
Or, you can enjoy it and, say
Exactly.
tata bye-bye later.
True,
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Now, here is the trick now. 30 rupees now that I say for luxuries, there will be people who will be like, "Kahan, kya baat kar rahe ho? 30 rupees रहता ही नहीं हमारा luxury के लिए, because we can't fit our necessities in the 50%. Okay. Now, they may say that our necessities itself will go to 70 in our equation.
Correct.
Okay.
Then you're left with 10.
Now the catch here is that where does the financial planning go wrong? 50 ke bajay 70 is necessities. Agreed. Now what people do is that the balance 20, they will take from the saving.
And leave only 10 for saving.
नहीं, saving तो 20 ही था sir.
वो उसमें से 10 लिया तो 10 बचा.
So I'll again do the math, right? Out of 100 rupees income, 50 is for necessities, 30 is for luxury, and only 20 is saving. Okay? So first 20 हमने side में निकाल के रखा था. 50 was ideally for necessities.
Correct.
But now the person says, I can't manage it with 50. I need 70. So what they do is, they 20 rupees ले लो. Saving will be zero. And but luxury 30 has to be there.
Yeah.
This is where the management goes wrong. If someone says me that, okay, Rachna, for me 50 is not enough for necessities, 70 is for necessities, then 30 rupees जो आपका luxury का budget है, उसमें से you should be taking out 20. 10 rupees will be your luxury amount now. So what needs to be reduced is your luxury budget, not your saving. Saving should be untouched. So what I personally tell people to do is that whenever you get that sweet message, account has been credited. That sweet message, only once a month we get, right?
Yeah.
So once you get that, it should be first money debited for your SIP installment, money debited for your PPF account, money debited for XYZ. First, the investment part should be taken care of. Now you are left with only 80. उसमें से जो कूदना है वो कूदो आप. Luxury में डालना है, necessities में डालना है. That you will have to balance out. But first 20 should be cut out for saving.
Okay.
That is the bare minimum that I said. There is a concept of FIRE in US. You have heard about it? FIRE.
Fire. As in...
Pushpa wala nahi, FIRE. वो वाला नहीं. FIRE is financial independence, retire early.
Financial independence.
Retire early. FIRE.
Okay.
Okay?
Interesting.
So if you want to go ahead with that concept of financial independence, retire early, FIRE, then they say 20 saving is not going to be enough.
Okay.
You have to have at least 60 in saving.
Wow.
And then balance 40 mein jitna kudna hai utna kudo. You will have to live life frugally. Every small expense you will have to cut down. Instead of taking an Ola or Uber, you might have to use a public transport maybe. But you will have to sacrifice that much so that you attain financial freedom at a younger age. But I personally feel that both these could be super extremes. One is doing too much of frugal. You are having your spending very frugally. The second extreme is only 20% of your saving. I personally somehow believe that 30 to 40%, if you are able to save, that can be a magic number. Out of 100 rupees you earn, somewhere between 30 to 40 you should be able to save and then ultimately invest, and that balance 60 to 70 you can spend. So वो गम भी नहीं रहेगा कि यार मैंने जिंदगी नहीं जिया. And you'll also be comfortable with your savings and with your investment.
You will have enough corpus at a much younger age to spend.
Exactly.
Then the other option is to continue struggling till you are, into your retirement, you're still struggling.
Exactly. So many people ask me, when you say financial independence, retire early, what is financial independence? The simple one-liner answer for that is, you work because you love to work. You don't work because you have to work. That is financial independence. Today I can say no to few assignments. Why? Because I think I have achieved that financial independence. If I know that, okay, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things, basic necessities to be ticked off. I don't have enough retirement money. I don't have enough money for child's education, his marriage or whatever. Then I'll have to take each and every assignment that comes my way. So if I'm managing my finances well, I think I can attain that financial freedom. And have I done that? I have. So first 10 years of our marriage, we both were CAs at a very younger age. We could have easily bought a house on a loan and whatnot. But then we said, we don't need a house right now.
Okay.
We were staying in a 1 BHK flat with my in-laws. And then we had taken a rented apartment right next to the 1 BHK. So it was a joint house with 6 rooms.
Okay.
But only one owned and one. So the rent was barely 15,000 rupees. So a pretty small house that we stayed. The rooms were a little bit small. We had a Maruti 800, which my father-in-law owned. We didn't buy a car in the initial years of our marriage. We didn't even have a sofa in our house. The TV that we had was the Baba Azam kind of a TV, not a flat screen TV. Okay. We did spend our money very wisely in the first 10 years of our marriage. And then we said that, okay, the amount that we needed, now we have it. And now if we were to upgrade our lifestyle, we can, without any guilt.
So very interesting. It's very human, okay? I mean, to look at you, is most of the time these status or these symbols of owning a house, owning a car is probably to please others more than to please oneself. Yes. But it also comes with, taking such a strong, determined decision also comes with its own costs. Costs like someone comes home and then you say it's a rented, or they figure out that it's a rented house. You suddenly see their, faces. Maybe she's not getting enough practice. So you've had any such...
I have had certain experiences, because before marriage, I was lucky enough that when I was born, my journey with my parents from the hospital to my home was in a Fiat car. So I don't know I should be saying this or not, but if you check financially, I was richer before marriage. Okay. But I knew that my husband and we had the basic necessities, right? We had our own house. My in-laws had their own house to stay in. Bhale hi 1 BHK, but unka khud ka tha. So plus Maruti 800 is sahi, but khud ka car tha, right? So I felt, okay, it's okay.
It takes you from point A to point B.
Yeah, we said we both are chartered accountants. Yeah. Our parents have given us enough education, and it's up to us if we can take it to the next level or not. So we took all those decisions by ourselves. Sometimes we did go wrong, sometimes we did go right. We have seen the question marks on our relatives' face when they used to come up home, and they used to say, "Acha, hey ghar hai ka tuza? Okay. This is that your house, okay." The tiles also, no fancy tiles. You know that black and white patch wala tiles.
Yes.
Right.
That's the mosaic
tile. Yes. Yeah. Those were laid in our house.
Mosaics, by the way, was luxury in the 70s.
Not in the 2000s though.
No. Yeah.
So we have had those question marks on our way, but we both always believed in one sentence, that it's better to be rich rather than to look rich. Right?
True.
So
That's where a lot of people have this misplaced concept of richness.
Correct.
Dikhaya nahi to.
correct. So we knew that our bank balances would speak out loud enough, but we were like, okay, we love to be low key.
So you actually had everything. Most importantly, you had your head on your shoulders.
True,
I mean, I
true.
think that's
True.
probably made all the difference
Yeah.
there. Fun questions. How is there an age for start saving?
I think it's never too late.
Okay.
Earlier you start, you're going to be.
I'm relieved now. So I need to, look at.
But I can tell you that I started saving the day I started earning.
Okay.
I remember my first ever salary was 20,000, and from that 20,000 also I had my SIPs in place, where my almost 10,000 rupees straight away went into
That's
saving.
50%.
50% straight away into saving, even from that small 20,000 rupees paycheck. But the compounding starts to kick in if you start early.
That's something which I would like you to explain. I've heard about this power of compounding.
Yes.
So
you know, what is compounding? You can imagine that I have saved 10,000 rupees and I've invested 10,000 rupees and I earn 10% on that, right? So I get 1,000 rupees as the interest part, let us say, 10,000 ka 10%, 1,000 rupees will be topped up.
Yeah.
Now, what people do, the biggest mistake is that they'll slice out that 1,000 rupees. वो तो मेरे को मिला है पैसा, 10,000 मैं पूरा वापस invest करूँगा. So I say that आपने ऊपर का मलाई ही निकाल दिया. And उससे ही तो घी बनता है, right? So it's important to keep that interest right there intact. Now what happens the next year is that you'll get 10% not on 10,000, but you'll get 10% on 11,000. So then उसके ऊपर interest मिला, that is also stacked up. Again, don't remove the interest. That interest also gets stacked up, don't remove that. And believe it or not, if you start doing that, the difference on a small amount of like 1 lakh that I have a proper math for that. It is in a matter of 15 years, you'll have 4 times money.
wow.
If
Then you actually invested.
If you had, the money that I had invested. No, I'm comparing 4 times with what I'll tell you. Let's say my 1 lakh, just as a mathematical, just an example, right? 1 lakh turns to 4 lakh.
Okay.
With simple interest. What simple interest? Every time I get the interest, I'm going to withdraw. Interest mila, withdraw kiya. 1 lakh will go to 4 lakh as a math, let us say.
How many years?
Just a plain vanilla example.
Okay.
I'm not doing the
Sure.
math here.
Okay.
Agar 1 lakh ka 4 lakh ho jata hai. But 1 lakh will turn 16 lakhs.
Wow. If you don't.
That is the 4 times I'm saying.
If you allow.
If I allow the interest to be put there. That is the big difference that happens.
Wow.
So that is the magic of compounding is what I'm trying to tell you. That अगर आप पैसा withdraw नहीं करोगे तो ऊपर का पैसा, that is how the money multiplies itself.
That brings me to an interesting question is that I've tried to do it and I've got benefit of that but because but most of the time, so my experience with the so-called wealth advisors have not been good.
Yeah.
Most of the time I found whenever they come with this huge plan for you because they care so much about you. And I mean, let me tell you, till I found or chanced, I accidentally became friendly with one bank manager who actually guided me properly. To the rest, I was making money for the bank, not for me.
Yeah.
Now, how do we avoid, because I mean, till very recently, there were a lot of fees, administrative fees and commissions all were charged. And that 1%, 2% can be a huge amount of money at the end of 10 or 15 or 20 years. And you don't realize when you look at it, it's just 1%. Now, if you have to give this advice in this, during this podcast, I hope you have no brand associations here. But if you have to give, what's the right way to invest in invest? Is it going to be your FD? Because most people don't really have, especially when it comes to photographers. I'll come to photographers especially, okay? They don't really understand or never inclined to do this kind of diversify the investment jargon.
Yeah.
If somebody has to just worry about just one investment, what should that be? And how do you also take care of cost of that, administrative
So
commission, etc.?
I will definitely give that answer. But the point that, being that CA, that my mind was not allowing me to, just stay quiet, because you asked the question, 1 lakh ka 4 lakh kab hoga in the previous question, right? And I was just calculating at the till you were answering the question, till you were asking the next question.
Sure.
So the first I'll give that answer because I was, I want to say the answer, but you were asking a question.
Sure.
Okay. There is a rule of 72.
Okay.
Okay. And it says 72 divided by rate of interest tells you in how much years your money will be doubled.
Okay.
I'll explain.
Okay.
So for example, in a bank FD, if you're getting 6% rate of interest.
Okay.
So I'll do 72 divided by 6. How much? They're like, oh my God, you're asking questions. So 72 divided by 6 will be 12.
12.
Correct?
Yeah.
So your money will double in 12 years.
12 years.
Years.
Okay. At 6%.
At 6%.
Okay.
Okay. So when I said from 1 lakh to 4 lakh. So 1 lakh to 2 lakh will take 12 years. From 2 lakh to 4 lakh will take another 12 years. But if you are able to invest at 12%, so again, rule of 72.
Okay.
72 divided by 12. 12 6 are 72.
Yeah.
So from 1 lakh to 2 lakh, you will go in 6 years.
6 years.
From 2 lakh to 4 lakh, you will go in another 6 years. So in basically 6 plus 6, 12 years mein, your money went from 1 lakh to 4 lakh.
Okay.
Basic.
Okay.
But if you do with compounding, it can actually go, it has the potential to be much, much more than that.
In 12 years.
In 12 years. If you're not taking off that malai. Because again, simply, it's not only 1 lakh going to 4 lakh. Now, 1 lakh ke upar interest mila. You're again investing that. You're investing additional amounts in between also. That is the power of compounding. So the rule of 72 also I thought of plugging in between, right?
Wonderful.
Now you understand why people these days curse FDs. Because you're going to get 6% and 72 divided by 6, you're going to get your money doubled in 12 years. You have to wait for 12 long years and finally your money is going to double. Okay. That is why people say we want to invest in some investment avenue which gives us faster returns. But then if the question that you asked, how do we decide, right? Which is that one investment avenue that I have to focus on? There is no single investment avenue. FDs are not good, but FDs are also not bad. Why? So I always tell you have to invest based on your goals. One are your short-term goals, one are your long-term goals. It could also be a medium-term goal in between. I'm just skipping that right now.
Sure.
It could be a short-term goal, it could be a long-term goal.
Sure.
Short-term is something which you have to meet within a year. Okay. So for example, we are in the month of July right now. Within a year, that is in the month of June 2025. Abhi kya 23 chal raha hai kya? I've lost track. In a year, that is 2024, I have to pay my son's school fees. Okay. Now, if I invest his school fees are, let's say, 1 lakh rupees, and if I invest that 1 lakh rupees in the stock market right now, with the assumption that after 1 year, that will go to 1,10,000 maybe or 1,20,000, and I'll be able to pay 1 lakh, and that 20,000 extra will stay with me. If I do that, and if I put that entire 1 lakh rupees in stock market right now, who knows what happens in the stock market 1 year later?
Yeah.
In the month of June, let's say some different Russia-Ukraine kind of a thing spurts up.
Yes.
It could be some different variant of corona that spurts up.
Yes.
And market tanks.
Yes.
I can't tell the school that, you know what, wo paisa thoda kam ho gaya hai. Allow me some more time to pay his school fees. Once the stock market goes up, I'll pay the school fees. I can't say that to the school. So when I have to meet a short-term goal, returns are not my priority. Safety is the priority. Okay? I need that money in the month of July 2024. Safety is the priority. Here FD comes into play. I know that, okay, even if it is 6%, I'm sure I'm going to get that. So I'll put my money in a FD when I were to meet a short-term goal. But if I want to save for my son's marriage, which may come, 15 years from now, I don't want safety today. I want returns. So that money I should put in an equity market, or if I don't know how to figure out good stocks, I should put that in a mutual fund. Okay? how many years. So assuming that my goal is 15 years away, so this is also a very important point. My goal is 15 years away. Till 12 or 13 years, I should be continuing investing in equity or in mutual funds. Let's say we are fast forward in time. 12 years have passed by. We are still here, but 12 years have passed by.
Yeah.
Now the time to meet the goal is barely 2 to 3 years. Now I should switch from equity to FD again.
Okay.
Because my goal is very close by now.
Yeah.
I don't want to take that risk in the last 2 or 3 years of the goal. That time again, safety becomes more important than returns. So I always say, when people ask me, "Kidhar invest karu?"
Correct.
Huh? I say, why are you investing? I need that answer first. If you are investing for a short-term goal, FD should be your choice. If you are having a long-term goal, equity or mutual fund should be your choice. First ask why, then I'll give you where. I can also give you one more analogy for that. Do you sit in a rickshaw and say, "Chalo bhai, aage chalo"?
Or
Aage
you
chalo.
give them a destination. Yeah.
First he'll ask you where. Where do you want to go? Then he will drive accordingly. So first, वैसे ही नहीं बोल सकते हम, चलो invest करो. कहाँ क्यों कर रहे हो भाई? First give me that reason and then I can tell you where to invest.
Which is the simplest form of investment? It's FD.
Simplest is FD, no doubt about
What
that.
about public provident fund?
PPF is also simple.
It gives a little more interest.
Gives more interest, but at the cost of a lock-in.
Yeah, you need.
You're not allowed to withdraw the money.
What's the duration currently?
It's 15 years of lock-in.
Oh, okay.
But I think it's really important to have that as well. Otherwise, people will withdraw the moment they want it. Now, the trick here can be start a PPF. Your parents should have that trick for you. Right? So those who are just married, a suggestion for them, start a PPF account for your child as soon as possible. So for example, I have started my son's PPF when he was, I guess, 5 years or something like that. Okay, let's round it off to 5. Now the lock-in for him will be 15 years. So 5 to 20.
20.
At the age of 20, he is going to have a PPF with a 15-year lock-in. Biggest lock-in is over. Now can we renew the PPF? Answer is yes. But the renewal comes at a lock-in period of only 5 years.
Okay.
So earlier you get the 15 years lock-in away. My parents had not started a PPF for me when I was a child, but I started when I was 21. So 21 plus 15, my lock-in is over by now.
Wow.
So now I just extended at a 5 years cost. So FD is good, PPF is good. A latest saving Mahila Sanman Bachat Patra, which the government introduced this budget, it's a good investment avenue. It has a 2-year lock-in only.
Okay.
The maximum amount that one can invest is 2 lakh.
Okay.
But it's a Mahila Sanman Bachat Patra, so it has to be in a woman's name. But the rate of interest is 7.5% with a quarterly compounding benefit.
Okay.
So like I said, उसके ऊपर मलाई आ जाता है, बट मलाई कब आता है? 1 क्वार्टर के बाद ही मलाई आ जाता है. क्वार्टरली कंपाउंडिंग है. तो 1 क्वार्टर के बाद मलाई आ गया, अब ये पूरा अमाउंट इन्वेस्ट हो गया, री इन्वेस्ट हो गया. और 3 महीने के बाद वापस मलाई आ गया, वो पूरा री इन्वेस्ट हो गया. That's how it works. So the effective rate of interest is not 7.5, it is 7.7%.
Okay.
Because of the malai getting reinvested.
Reinvested.
So that's a good investment avenue. All these are the ones where safety is the topmost priority. If you want good returns at a cost of safety, I feel mutual funds or equity are the best sources. If you feel I don't have that much time to
Monitor, switch,
monitor
etc.
this, that, the simplest thing that you can do is do an SIP in a Nifty 50 index fund.
Okay.
Now that is alien.
I've heard about it, but I really don't know.
So for the benefit of the viewers, I can give the simplest example, okay? What is a Nifty 50 index fund? It is as good as you invest your money in top 50 companies of India. Okay. I'm sure everyone has heard the names like SBI.
Yes.
Larsen and Toubro.
Yes.
Asian Paints.
Yeah, of course.
Reliance Industries.
Sure.
अभी ये कंपनी bankrupt होगा क्या? Oh, Reliance went bankrupt. Oh, that's too big to fail, right? Now, if you were to buy one share of Reliance Industries, one share of Larsen and Toubro, one share of Asian Paints, one share of ICICI, one share of HDFC, or that itself is going to cost you more than 8,000 to 10,000 rupees. And अभी तक तो 5 ही companies हुआ है.
You're talking about 50.
Infosys, TCS, ये तो अभी तक बोला भी नहीं है, right? So top 50 अगर आप बोलोगे ना, तो that will go to some 1,50,000 to 2 lakh, more than that per share, one share of 50 companies. Now you'll say that, Rachna, we don't have that much money, and you are saying invest 1 share per month. It's impossible. Now, mutual fund solves that purpose. Now, you can imagine there is a big bowl in that one share of Reliance, one share of L&T, one share of this, all 50 companies. Mix.
Yeah.
Take a spoon out of that.
Yeah.
That one spoon has a component of 50 share, every share.
Yeah.
But you need not buy the whole bowl. You just buy one spoon. That's called as a 1 unit of a mutual fund. I don't know how much that costs. It starts with 100 rupees. No one can give that excuse that they don't have 100 rupees to invest, right? So it's such a beautiful investment avenue that you get an exposure to invest in top 50 companies of India with an amount of as low as 100 rupees. Okay.
Which is the best, according to you, if you were to.
Now, for that I always say, because the moment I say the name, people are going to be like, isko paisa mila hai bolne ke liye. So what I've done is, on my channel again, I have done a video on how to choose a good index fund.
Okay.
Just two points you have to check: that the tracking error should be low and the expense ratio should be low. Okay. How to do that? Everything it's there on the video. Utna to efforts le lo yaar. Channel pe jaake. It's a 15-minute video.
We'll add a link in the description.
That'll be great if you can add the link of that
and we
video
also
in the
will
description.
add on your website. You have a calculator too, so
Absolutely.
we'll add that link also.
Definitely. So, I can name it. It could be a Navi mutual index 50 Nifty index mutual fund. It could be a UTI Nifty index fund. It could be an ICICI Nifty index fund. It could be an HDFC. कितना नाम ले लो, बहुत हो सकता है. But उसमें होगा तो भी इतना फर्क होगा. It'll be very less. But all in all, I think that is one investment avenue that everyone should have in their portfolio. Reason? On an average, Nifty has given a 12% return.
12%?
12% return.
Wow.
I'm talking about a CAGR, a compounded annual growth rate. It means on an average. When did Nifty start? Somewhere around in 1996, 94, 95, 96, whatever. Let's not go into the intricacies, but 96 even if I take that. From 96 to till 2023. If I take the returns, 96 mein itna aaya, 97, 98, 99, and I do a simple average of all that. That gives me an average return. And that is around 12%.
Wow.
Okay? So people get confused. They ask me, Rachna, har saal 12% milega? No, that's not har saal. Not every year you'll get 12%. It could be like 30% in 1 year. It could be minus 30% in the other year. It could be plus 20, plus 5, minus 5, But if you stay invested for 10 years,
an
on an average, 12%.
Okay. So you need to be ready to stay the course.
Yes. Yeah. And now with the rule of 72, your money will double in 6 years.
Wow.
Because 72 divided by 12 will be 6. If you invest in an index fund. I'm sure everyone is like, chalo, aaj hi start karte hain.
which is a good note. I'm going to start because I'm learning always.
Yeah. And for that also what I've done is I have a website as well, rachanaranade.com. And on that I have listed a course on magic of mutual funds. Why? Because I've seen so many people whose journey of investing in mutual funds starts with, तूने कौन सा म्यूचुअल फंड लिया? ये अच्छा है क्या? चलो मैं भी लेती हूँ. They don't understand कि आपका risk profile and my risk profile will be different. You might be way too richer than me. Your risk profile may be way too higher than me, and I'm just blindly copying the mutual fund that you have bought, right? So instead of that, how can we say, right? One size doesn't fit all.
Yeah.
You have to identify your size.
True.
That's how. In that course, I've explained how can you choose a good mutual fund for yourself.
Wonderful.
So I think that's a basic financial knowledge that everyone should have, and then go ahead
Absolutely.
investing. Yeah.
Absolutely. How does insurance fit in it? When I say insurance, I'm looking at all possible insurance, like endowment. Then you have the term insurance. Then also the other type of insurance, like a pension fund.
Yeah.
And also a health insurance.
Yeah.
Now, some are expenses, some are savings. So how do you look at that? Because whenever I talk about insurance to certain friends, and do you have a health insurance? I think that's all you need. You have a term insurance, that's you need. You don't endowment, pension. Many people don't believe in it. What's your take on that?
Control C, Control V. The same point you said.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Why? I'll tell you. The moment you go for an endowment, it's a mix. Mix of what? It's a mix of insurance plus investment. Okay. Now, if you're mixing investment and insurance, that's not a good ideology to go ahead with. Because what should be the true case? Your investment should be different. Your insurance should be different. What is a term insurance? Term insurance is a pure insurance product. Now, if I were to take a huge, let us say I want to take a 1 lakh rupees ka insurance cover. My per month, 1 lakh chodo, chalo 1 crore rupees. Okay, 1 lakh will be too less for a lot of people. 1 crore rupees insurance cover if I want. My monthly insurance premium would be somewhere around 600 to 800 rupees.
That also depends on age.
Depends on a lot of factors, right? Age, you smoke or not, you drink or not, what family history you have, a lot of factors. But that's why I said on an average. It could, I'll say somewhere between 500 rupees to 1000 rupees per month. So I can say 12,000 to 18,000 rupees, on a broader angle. I'm repeating. On a broader angle, per year, 12,000 to 18,000 rupees for a 1 crore rupees insurance cover. It's pretty less.
Absolutely. I mean,
1 crore is a pretty big amount.
Especially when lives are very unpredictable.
Exactly. And if you're saying 12,000 rupees, that's barely 1,000 rupees per month. Even if 18,000, it's 1,500 rupees per month. So 1,000 to 1,500 rupees per month spending for a 1 crore cover, that's going to give you absolute peace of mind. Chalo kuch ho jata hai, to be 1 crore my family will have. So that is why a pure term is important. But there could be cases that one person meets with an accident, doesn't die, but is hospitalized, and you know how much the bills could scale up to. And at that time, you can't say, I have a life insurance, That will not help you because you are not dead. Okay. For that, you need a health insurance, which can cover your hospital bills. There are some good health insurances which can cover your tests as well. Whatever, blood tests, all those tests will be covered. Hospitalization expense will be covered. Post-hospitalization expense, maybe you need a physiotherapist. Medication can continue. Ye sab bhi cover ho sakta hai in a good health insurance. And again, how to choose a good health insurance. See, these days, knowledge is easily available. You want to search for a good health, how to choose a good health insurance? How to choose a good health insurance? Spacebar, Rachana Ranade.
That's a good one.
On YouTube, right?
Yeah.
You'll get to know everything. How to choose a life insurance, how to choose a health insurance, everything. I have more than 1,000 videos on my channel.
Wow.
So I always say, there is one thing is an ability to learn and one is a willingness to learn. I think ability everyone has. Question is about the willingness.
I can't agree more about the willingness to learn. I mean, you only need to wish. That's it. Everything is right in front of you.
And those who say, no yaar, finance mereko nahi samajh mein aata, it's so difficult. You should watch my channel and then just say this, that you didn't understand whatever I taught. You can't say that.
Hats off to you to making it so simple so that someone like me can understand. It's otherwise, I used to look at, because I've seen a few of your, videos. You also make it very easy by adding a lot of fun into it, because otherwise it's a dry subject.
True.
Everyone wants money. But they're not ready to kind of sit down and understand but you make it very, very inviting for people to kind of learn.
So someone had asked me a question, how do you differentiate between a lump sum investment and an SIP investment? Because many people hear that word SIP. So the SIP investment kya hai? What is SIP investment? What is lump sum investment? So I thought of doing a pre-bumper for that. And what I did, I had a gulab jamun in front of me. I just took it and I just popped it into my mouth. Okay. Then the second shot is that I have a gulab jam.
And you're
slice it into pieces,
piece by piece.
Piece by piece. So the first one is a lump sum investment. The second one is a systematic investment. Just put it slice by slice.
You'll never forget that.
How can someone forget?
Wonderful. Okay, now we are going to come and talk a little bit about a specific problem which a creator community faces. In my case, when I refer to creator community, it's predominantly photographers, filmmakers who are who are always under pressure to upgrade their equipments. While how many other times you keep telling them that you don't need to upgrade every time, you need to look at whether the existing equipment. So many reasons, but they still want to be seen with the best equipments when they go out to shoot. Status, right? The status of owning something. My tool talks a lot about me, not my work. Now, when they get into a lean season or for some reason they stop getting work, they fall ill, they all get into a tight spot, usually EMIs. Now, I have said this in many forums, places, etc., but I still come across people who have get into that similar situation again and again and again. Now, I myself have been there. Okay, so I've done it, hence I have a full right to tell them not to do it, but they still don't listen. But they wanted to listen from a doctor. So what would you...
A financial doctor.
A finance doctor. So what will you, what kind of advice will you give them if somebody is under, they compulsorily upgrade tech, which is actually not required, but they come under stress and acceptability, status, hope that the new equipment will give me better results, etc.
I feel there is no stopping for that. I think the answer was embedded in the question.
Okay.
You said that your work should speak for yourself rather than the equipment speaking for you. See, I can't tell you about the technicalities, to be honest, but I'm sure that whatever camera you have, if your skill is enough, then maybe with a lower quality camera, but with your skill, you will be able to, change. I don't know what is to be done, but with whatever necessary lighting or your angle. In fact, when I came in today, I complimented your DP, right?
Oh, yeah.
But I'm not sure whether you shot it from a camera of 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs,
a mobile phone.
A mobile phone, you said it now. So I think people should focus more on sharpening their skills on how can they get the best possible output with their vision. कि ये ऐसा angle अच्छा लगेगा. So the answer is every time not in the equipment. Maybe out of 10, 2 times the answer may lie in the equipment. But I'm sure 8 on 10 times it can be more about sharpening your skill and getting the same quality of picture with the existing equipment that they have. Because every time you're going to spend money on that, it's going to have a dent in your pocket. It's going to have a dent in the saving.
A big hole in the pocket. Dent is acceptable.
Exactly. So, finally, like you said, you are sacrificing some other important goal to get this current goal, is what they should understand.
That's important.
Right?
Yeah. I think that's a takeaway.
Exactly. So, as I mentioned, if you have to first list down which are the goals that just can't be disturbed. They have to be achieved. So, for example, you can't say, मेरे बच्चे का ना higher education थोड़ा side में रखते हैं, I want this camera. That is not done. That is not done.
True.
So, you have to list down those goals which you have to reach there by hook or crook. And then there could be some goals which you're okay sacrificing. For example, if you say, okay, I'll not go to Europe this year. I will save that money. And with that money saved, I'll upgrade my equipment. Why not?
Yeah.
हाँ, तो कुछ पाने के लिए कुछ खोना पड़ता है.
Correct.
Again, movie dialogue.
Absolutely.
But if then that is okay. But sacrificing an important goal to get your equipment upgraded, I don't think that makes sense.
Totally. I hope you will take her advice this time, okay, before, jumping into your next high-value purchase. Another big problem that I don't know whether you can solve it or you can give an advice to is about undercutting, okay? It's always to get a job.
True.
Right? So it can be because there are more than one people bidding for one job, or I'm doing my first job, so I want to get it somehow.
True.
There are various reasons.
Yeah.
And everybody knows that undercutting in wedding photography, any kind of photography, in fact, for that matter, any business is not good generally for the industry. He's basically cutting the branch which he's sitting on. What would be if you have to explain it a little scientifically, I mean, if from the point of finance, what would be a right way of explaining so that you discourage anyone from undercutting? Or why would somebody undercut?
Okay. So, I'll give the answer in 2 parts, right?
Okay.
First one, theoretically, even if I give the answer that undercutting is not good, the real world scenario is undercutting is going to happen forever. Okay. It is not that undercutting started like few years ago. It has been there.
Always.
Right? Always. If it is business, if we two are competitors, if you're getting something, and I feel that, hey, even I possess the same skill sets, if I quote a little bit less, I'll get it. That is human tendency, and it is going to happen. Okay. Undercutting to some extent is okay. If you're undercutting to maddening levels, you are going to spoil the industry. Okay. This is what I personally believe happened with airline companies. You are selling a Pune to Delhi ticket at, let us say, 6,000 rupees at a given particular date. Achha, he's selling at 6,000. Let me offer it at 5,000. Some other airline says, okay, let me offer at 4,000. Some other airline says, achha, chalo, I'll offer at 2,000. Now, this starts being a dirty game now. From 6,000, cutting it to maybe 5,000, 5,500. See 6,000 to 5,000 is like 15% gap. Okay. 6,000 to 2,000 can't be competed.
Correct.
Okay. Now, the problem is that if you decide to go to 2,000, your expenses will also not be covered.
Correct.
The moment you go for a shoot, you are actually spending money from your pocket rather than earning anything.
Correct.
Okay. And this is where the industry as a whole starts to get spoiled. 10%, 15% here and there, you can manage by cutting your own expenses also. So when you quoted 6,000, you said, okay, this is the expense, my expense comes up to 4,000. I'll charge 2,000 as a profit margin and I'll quote 6,000. Okay. Maybe you can go down from 6,000 to 5,000 to 4,500. Yaar, kuch to paisa banana chahiye. If you're going below 4,000, that's where it starts becoming a bad game. Messy game. So
it'll kill everyone.
It'll kill everyone at one point in time, right? Similar thing happened to, a best example can be telecom industry.
Yeah.
See, before I go on to telecom industry, let me tell you about airlines. And that is the reason why a lot of airlines fail. A biggest cost for airlines is the petrol, aviation fuel, which is very expensive. And at one point in time, you can't control that expense. Correct. That is an uncontrollable expense. Correct. And if your competitor starts to undercut below a specific level, you're going to die. You can't survive. And that is the reason why you name it, be it Jet Airways, be it Kingfisher Airlines, be it now these days, I'm sure you might be hearing about one more airline going down. This ought to happen because of the dirty game, which starts being played in the industry. Second example that I was going to give is about telecommunication. When the mobile phones were just introduced, I remember my dad, of course his bill was paid by his company, but an outgoing call used to cost some 25 or 30 rupees per minute.
I've paid 16 rupees.
Right? An incoming call would cost 15 rupees per minute. Now, you can imagine from 30 rupees per minute to 25 rupees per minute, competitors start coming in, 20 rupees per minute, competitors start coming in, 15 rupees or 10 rupees or 1 rupee per minute, yahan tak aa gaya. Now a player says, if you're talking for 10 seconds, why are you paying for a minute? Pay per second. That's a new game which comes in.
Correct.
Now it starts with, acha, you're paying 1 second per minute, okay, incoming free.
Yeah. Yeah. Or pay a lump sum, make unlimited calls.
Okay. Yeah. Do you know that there was a company, if I'm not mistaken, that was Virgin Mobile, which said that you get paid for an incoming call.
Wow.
Okay. This is crazy level of competition. Now, इसको तो undercutting भी नहीं बोल सकते, ये तो कुछ हद ही हो गया. This is totally different.
Correct.
How much time are you going to sustain with that? You can't. And in that process, you just don't get killed yourself. You're killing few other people in that.
The industry gets...
spoiled. Yeah. So, I can tell, but whether to listen to me or not is totally at the discretion of the viewer. But undercutting to like 5%, 10%, 15% is a fair game is what I still believe because you want the opportunity. मैं ये नहीं बोल सकती मेरे competitor का भला हो जाए बस मेरा हो या no भगवान मेरी ख्याल करेगा रक्षा करेगा. No. Even we are playing a sport together. I'm going to be equally competitive.
Yes.
So 10-15% here and there is okay. But if I say he's charging 100, I'll charge 10 rupees. Bolo.
Yeah.
that is not going to be a fair game. So it's going to spoil the industry. So
Absolutely.
don't do it.
I think
Don't go overboard is what I will
think,
say.
I think it's very, I mean, you explained it very
Yeah,
well. And I'm going to use the same example when I get an opportunity to speak to the photographer community next time. All right, so I think we've done decent bit of conversation. So in every conversation, I ask one cliche question or request a cliche, kind of cliche question. You've been a very successful creator, and there are lots of people who are watching you. If you were to give an advice, that's why I said cliche, but it makes a lot of difference because they want to hear from you. What all things that you will tell them, to pursue? It need not necessarily be finance.
Correct. Any sort of thing.
Yeah.
I think a part of the answer is what I've already given. It has to be not 100%, 110% hard work is what I've already told. Intelligence is what you can't control, but the willingness to learn more and more is what you can control. So for example, I'm sure that even photography definitely evolved like any other profession. Even if there is ABC things to be checked before clicking a good photograph, I'm sure now it'll be ABCDEF. Maybe after a few years it'll be more to check off, right? So you have to stay updated before you are doing anything is what I feel if you want to crack it. And so these were the parts which I've already covered. But one part which I would want to add up if you want to be a successful creator. I had got this question that if I want to be Rachana Ranade, then what do I do?
Correct.
I said the only thing you have to do is don't be Rachana Ranade.
Wow.
Okay. If you're copying me, you are not going to be your best version.
Yeah.
You will just try to be me and you will never become me. I always say you can copy my content, you can't copy my style. Style is unique to everyone.
Correct.
Find what you have in yourself. And it's not a wand that you have that, aisa kya I found, okay, this is what is in me. You will discover it over a period of time.
Correct.
Okay, you go and, so for me, I taught at this level, I taught here, I taught there, and when I got the feedbacks, and when a lot of students said, ma'am, you simplified too much. And then I understood, maybe simplicity is my forte.
Yes.
I didn't discover it myself.
Yes.
My viewers helped me discover it for me. My students helped me discover it for me. Many students said, ma'am, you know what? Don't tell this to the director. We sleep in almost every single lecture. But in your lecture, we are 100% attentive.
Oh, yeah.
I said, what is the reason? They said, you don't only teach finance, you also entertain us in between. Maybe I used to sing a song, or maybe I used to tell something about stock market, I used to crack a joke, whatever. But you keep us attentive. So then I understood, maybe I have the ability to keep the audience hooked by cracking few jokes here and there. So maybe that entertainment factor is also there in me.
Absolutely.
That is how I discovered who I am.
In this whole conversation, I don't think we have ever used any jargon, this sort of financial jargon anywhere. It's simple language.
Exactly, right? Yeah. So if you want to be successful, I think other than hard work, which I already told you, discover who you are. And that will not happen in a day.
Do you have a video on that?
No.
That's a journey that everyone has to.
You have to, slog. You have to experiment, and then you will understand that this is what is in me. So many people say that I'm confused whether I have A or B or C or D. How will I understand what is the best out of all these? I say you have to do everything, then you will understand what is the best. It is as good as I give a food plate in front of you. There are 5 sweet dishes. I say taste only one and tell me which is the best.
Oh, okay.
Can you do that? No.
It's very difficult.
No? Yeah. What will you have to do? Taste A, B, C, D, E, and then tell me out of this, which C was the best, let us say. Similarly, in your journey of your career, you can't say, I tried A and A is the best, that suits me the best. No. If you feel I'm confused between A, B, C, D, E, slog hard. Try everything, and then you can say, C is the best. So the point that I made at the beginning of the podcast, that's where maybe the podcast is circling back to where I started, that in the initial 10 years of my of me being a chartered accountant from 2009 to 2019, I was teaching for on an average 12 hours, 8 to 12 hours. In that, I tasted everything, and then eventually I understood that, okay, I love teaching, I love CA teaching, I love MBA teaching, I love doing forensic audit sessions, but the financial literacy sessions are the ones which give me the highest pleasure.
Fantastic.
So when I understood that, now focus is important. Because a torch can also give light, but a laser can cut the steel also. That light can cut through the steel as well, right? So 5 was the torch. Now when I discovered 1, now it has to be a laser sharp focus.
Laser sharp.
Then only can you excel. That is the advice. First have a torch, then have a laser.
Fantastic. Well, like your students who got entertained from the way you explained everything, simplified everything, I'm also completely at awe of what you're saying, except one more thing. Can you sing us 2 lines of your favorite? I know that you're a Hindi buff and you're a trained classical singer. So that's only one thing that you have not done for us is singing. Can you?
Let me drink some water first. Which song? That's a tough question. Okay. I'll sing Ye Hausla Kaise Luke. I've been speaking for the last 1.5 hours and I'm singing.
It's a long time to sing, but
I'll try. I'll try. ये हौसला कैसे झुके, ये आरज़ू कैसे झुके, मंजिल मुश्किल तो क्या, धुंधला साहिल तो क्या, तन्हा ये दिल तो क्या हो, राह में कांटे बिखरे अगर, this is all for all the professionals, right? राह में कांटे बिखरे अगर, इस पे तो फिर भी चलना ही है, शाम छुपा दे सूरज अगर, रात को एक दिन ढलना ही है, रुत ये ढल जाएगी, हिम्मत रंग लाएगी, सुबह फिर आएगी हो.
Wow. What a way to end the podcast. Thank you very much, Rachna, for your time, your advice and everything. And may you continue to grow at 12%?
Thank you.
Double in much shorter time. All the very best.
Thank you. Thanks a
very
lot
much.
for that.